Ladies and gentlemen, it's a big, weird, wild world out there, folks, and here we stand. Al pie del cañón, ready for anything. I'm Rob, that's the Natch, and you're listening to...
The ProBoh Show!
Ooh, how are we doing out there, folks? Sorry, a bit of running around this morning like a headless chicken. What's going on? How are we doing out there, folks? It is your Thursday edition of the ProBoh Show. How are you doing? You're listening live at 8:30 Central European Time. Oh, and breath. How's it going, Natch?
Very well, thank you.
It's Jueves. We're nearly there. It's nearly the end of the week, my dude. Let's see who's joining us here live in the chat. We have Born to Iron Man, BTI, Eugene joining us from Russia, Vero joining us from Madrid. Let's see. Good morning, morning, beautiful warriors around the universe and beyond, says Vero. If you want to join our friends here live in the show, you can do that at twitch.tv/professional bohemian. My God, Natch, I'm out of breath. Running between the radio, the microwave. Sorry, I have to have my morning coffee, guys. I have to have my morning coffee. If I don't have it, no. There's the risk of a murder in the office goes up 100%. My God, friends, do we have a show for you? In today's 100 Humans, we asked them to name some popular genres of music. Then in Complete the News in the second half, we'll find out what book was removed from Florida school libraries. And today's amazing unpopular opinion is classical music is overrated. Classical music is overrated. What do you think, Natch? Is it overrated?
I don't really love it, but I don't think so.
No, you think it's... See, there's the thing. People read this and automatically think, oh, Rob hates classical music. No, I don't. I actually love classical music. But is it weighted? Is it like... Is it appropriately loved? You know? Is it underrated? Because there's a possibility. It could be underrated. How do you think people voted on Instagram before we get into the show?
I think they said false.
A little? A lot?
A lot.
Yeah, a lot. A lot. Let's see how we get into today's argument later on without sounding like an ignoramus. Richard Vaughan's listening to the show right now going crazy. What are you talking about? How are we doing out there? Hello, Edward the Bridge. We've got some quality warriors joining us in the live audience today. But I'll tell you what we'll do, guys. I'm here, you're here. Let's see what's going on in the world. Oh, Natch. Today's going to be a day, man. It's meeting day. It's the day of meetings. I don't know. I'm feeling lucky today. I slept well last night. The metro wasn't thoroughly depressing this morning. You know? I did get locked out of all my personal accounts on my computer, so I'm incapable of doing any work right now, which is probably also a positive thing. How's your day going so far, Natch?
Pretty good.
Did you have your toast with olive oil? And
yes.
Okay, see, he's fed. He's had his coffee. And how about you guys in the audience? How's your Jueves going? Oh my God, I can't wait for the weekend. I can't wait for it. Let's take a look at some news, shall we? Did scientists accidentally invent an anti-addiction drug? Here we go. Científicos inventan accidentalmente un medicamento contra la adicción. Right, Natch?
Nivelazo.
I'm pretty sure my pronunciation was horrendous there. You're very kind. I appreciate it. That was more of a motivational nivelazo, I'm sure. So this is coming from The Atlantic, I believe, or Fortune. Yeah, The Atlantic. The article from The Atlantic discusses the unexpected effects of the drug semaglutide, more commonly known as Ozempic, which was initially developed for diabetes and weight loss. Users of the drug have reported a decrease in various addictive and compulsive behaviors, such as drinking, smoking, shopping, and nail biting. Oh. Do you suffer any kind of addiction, Natch? Any compulsive behavior?
Nowadays, I don't think so. No, I quit smoking. Well, maybe alcohol, maybe.
That's not complete. Do you drink every day?
Not every day, but every weekend for sure.
Just every morning in my cornflakes, vodka.
Every Friday for sure.
I'll tell you what has been hard for me, right? Since I got back from the UK, you know, I've communicated my struggles with alcohol to you guys a bunch of times. What's been really hard has been getting back into my usual life and not drinking. Yesterday was the first day I had 0 alcohol since I got back from England. Oh, hallelujah. I can feel the robness seeping back into my body. Thank God. Bridge here says, Rob, the universe is telling you to take it easy. Yeah, could be. I don't know. Let's continue with this article. So not even nail biting, Natch.
No.
You know, you don't, have to turn the door handle 3 times before you leave the house to make sure it's properly... Nothing.
No.
Dude, am I just a bag of crazy? I'm a bag of crazy. I am full of compulsive behaviors. Things that I do on accident, things that I do purposefully. Yeah, full of compulsions, like my drinking coffee, smoking, drinking. I persistently lock my keys outside of my house, which is dangerous because I live on the ground floor, so anyone could walk in. God. All right, okay. So I'm seeking psychiatric help. Thanks, Natch. Thanks for the clarification, dude. So the drug Ozempic. This has caught the attention of addiction researchers as semaglutide seems to affect the brain's reward circuitry, potentially altering the urge for addictive substances and behaviors. I can't believe that Natch is not even mobile phones. Not even, you don't...
Well, yes.
Okay, there you go. Mm-hmm. God, Natch. Get help, man. Get help. Yeah, but I know he's not addicted to his mobile phone because he doesn't check it.
I am. I think I am.
Yeah? How often?
At least for looking at it, not interacting, but looking at it, yes. I am.
How often? How many times an hour do you look at your phone, do you think?
Maybe, no, I haven't counted, but I don't know, 10?
10 times an hour?
Maybe.
Get help.
Yes, I know.
Medicamento, says the bridge. Thank you for the clarification. Edward says, it's a drug against drugs. Yeah, I know. I mean, come on. You remember the days when you wanted to quit something, you stopped doing it? And we've got a pill for that nowadays. Why? How is it that pharmaceuticals have turned into the new app store? We've got an app for that. I've got a drug for that. Want to quit drugs? I've got a drug for that. Come on. Oh, God. Anyway, let's continue. Clinical trials are underway to explore its effectiveness in treating addictions like alcohol and smoking. The drug's long-term impacts, particularly on the brain, are still unknown. Oh, there you go. Best put that in people then, eh? We don't know the long-term effects on the brain, so, you just take 2 of those. You'll be fine. Don't worry so much. But it offers promising avenue for addiction treatment. There you go, Ozempic. Did scientists accidentally invent an anti-addiction drug? Again, all the links for the news that we use on the show will be available on the Professional Bohemian Patreon after the show. By the way, Monday's show, or Tuesday's, I can't remember which, but one of the shows this week, it is open and free to access on my Patreon. That's patreon.com/professional bohemian. All right, let's continue. Here was a good editorial piece written by a man called Royce Branning. Royce Branning. He's the co-founder and CEO of ClearSpace. ClearSpace is an app, or it's technology that is designed to fight. Natch, are you ready? Strap yourself in. The first step is admitting you have a problem. ClearSpace is an app, or a piece of technology designed to help you fight mobile phone addiction. ClearSpace, Natch. Just, so here's the article. It's a editorial piece in Fortune.com. Steve Jobs thought devices would become a bicycle for the mind. Steve Jobs pensaba que los dispositivos se convertirán en una bicicleta para la mente. Steve Jobs thought these were going to be exercise. It was going to be like exercise for the mind. But the effect on our brains is similar to that of smoking and junk food. Pero el efecto en nuestros cerebros es similar al del tabaco y comida basura. So there you go, Natch. Stop with smoking and and junk food. I'm just gonna enjoy this sense of superiority for a second, Natch. I'm just gonna swim in it for a bit. So in this article, Royce Banning discusses the paradoxical evolution of technology from Steve Jobs' vision of personal computers as bicycles for the mind to the current reality where smartphones and social media negatively impact our mental health. It is a fascinating article. Again, I will drop the link in my Patreon. So, similar to the effects of smoking and junk food, for example, Americans spend over 4 hours daily on their phones. I don't think I spend that much. Do you think you spend around 4 hours a day on your phone?
No.
I'd say, I don't know, I have no evidence, I don't count. But I'd say max, about an hour, maybe, hour a day. Which still isn't that good. I spend an hour a day talking to you. Or my family. Or my girlfriend. So I maybe have a closer relationship with my mobile phone than I do other humans. Don't judge me. Stop judging me. The Bridge says, the only addiction I needed a brain hemorrhage to quit was my nail biting, says The Bridge. Just think, after 45 years, I needed a brain hemorrhage. That was an addiction, my only real addiction. Yeah, I bite my nails too. Yeah, I'm just a bundle of nerves and problems, Natch. It's a true story. Vero says, I guess the people who are watching you live right now are addicted to Vaughn and Twitch. That's a positive addiction. Think of the ProBoh show. Think of the ProBoh show as a balm to your other addictions. So with many acknowledging addiction to these substances, quite in contrary to Steve Jobs' original vision, the article points out the misalignment between humans' attention and the attention demanded by screens, but offers optimism by drawing parallels with historic issues like smoking. Public awareness, policy changes and cultural shifts and technological advances helped reduce smoking rates, suggesting a similar approach could work for digital well-being. Yeah, it is a problem. I mean, I don't think you're on your own, Natch, by being completely addicted. It's going to get worse the more I talk about it. By having this very serious problem that you have with your mobile phone. I don't think you're alone. I mean, a lot of us suffer from it. I used to be much worse than I am now. I used to be kind of addicted to Twitter. I used to be a social media fiend. But I kind of stopped that behavior, not through noticing my own behavior, but by seeing it in others and knowing about my compulsive nature. Kind of started to cut it out of my own life, and let me tell you, it feels a lot better. It feels a lot better. Yes, this space is a positive addiction, says The Bridge. Yes, thank you. Twitch.tv/professional bohemian. All right, so that's an interesting little editorial piece in fortune.com. Where do we go? Let's go to some entertainment news from Variety. Martin Scorsese. Okay, Martin Scorsese's new Jesus film. So Martin Scorsese is making a film about Jesus. Martin Scorsese's new Jesus film is 80 minutes long and aims to take away the negative associations with organized religion. La nueva película de Jesus, o Jesús, de Martin Scorsese dura 80 minutos y busca eliminar las asociaciones negativas con la religión organizada. Natch is freaking out right now. He's like, you've developed a positive addiction to language learning, Rob. Yes, I have, Natch. Was that okay? Was that good? Yeah, more or less. Yeah. It wasn't the confident nod I usually get. Martin Scorsese is developing a new film based on Shusaku Endo's book, A Life of Jesus. Set mostly in the present day and aiming for a timeless feel. The film, expected to be around 80 minutes long, will focus on Jesus' core teachings without proselytizing. Scorsese will soon turn 81 and intends to make the film more accessible and counteract the negative associations with organized religions. He has completed the screenplay with Kent Jones and plans to start shooting later this year. So there you go, yeah. A movie about Jesus set in the modern day. I'm not sure of Shusaku Endo's book, A Life of Jesus. But let's see how it works out. Religious movies tend to do pretty well in the box office. You know what I like most about this is the movie is 80 minutes long. I don't feel like I have to cancel the milk before I go to the cinema to see it. Let's see. I guess people... yes, this space is a positive addiction. Rob has overworked the elves. I have. I'm putting them through their paces today. How are you doing, Carmen? Welcome, welcome. Carmen says, good morning, beautiful people. All right, on that note, let's finish off with the news there. We've spoken about Jesus movie, tech, and addiction. Perfect. Great start to the day. Let's get on to today's unpopular opinion.
Unpopular opinion.
It is unpopular opinion time, but what even is an unpopular opinion? Let me tell you, folks. An unpopular opinion is a brain fart. Un pedo cerebral, un pedo mental, una rayada. I share it with you on my social media. And you guys opine there. As we discovered earlier on in the show, today's unpopular opinion was a false vote. People disagreed in the range of 72%. But what is the unpopular opinion? It is that classical music is overrated. La música clásica está sobrevalorada. True or false? I mean, we're taught to believe that it is the real birth of music and melody was classical music. But how much truth is there to that? Do you see it as elitist? Is there a certain elitist appeal to classical music that other genres don't enjoy? Well, let's dig into that right now. I thoroughly tortured those elves, those poor elves, this morning. And they gave me some pro and con answers. Let's get into those right now. So in the pro column, agreeing that classical music is overrated. First of all, Natch, you said false, right? How many hours a day do you listen to classical music?
No, I don't really like it.
Okay. So you don't think it, and you don't think it's...
No, but I don't like it, but I understand the complexity and the talent you have to have.
Yeah. Would you agree that any kind of music production requires quite a lot of talent?
No. Not the same amount, definitely.
No? Okay.
No.
Okay.
No, I can do reggaeton, for example, and I can't do classical music.
I would pay to hear a Natch reggaeton song. Who do I have to speak to make that happen? I will do the vocals. If you produce it, Natch, I thoroughly support that initiative. An anti-reggaeton song. Give me that gasolina. Who do I have to speak to? Guys, if you want to make this happen, you have to find him on Instagram and pressure him. Natch reggaeton song right now. So in the pro column, let's see. Niche appeal. Classical music often perceived as highbrow. Highbrow meaning, again, I don't want to use the word elitist, but, highbrow pertaining to a more intellectual faction of society. Classical music, often perceived as highbrow, may not resonate with the broader public, especially in the area dominated by pop, rock, and other contemporary genres. This can lead to the perception that its widespread acclaim is disproportionate to its actual appeal. And I think this really nails down the real argument for me, is the fact that it has this almost special kind of place in our hearts and minds, but it is disproportionate to the actual appeal it holds. As you heard Natch saying there, No, I mean, I don't like it. I don't listen to it. This is from a man who spends 12 hours a day on his mobile phone. Hashtag confirmed. Doesn't listen to classical music, though. He's all about that reggaeton jam. But even he, as someone who doesn't kind of consume the music, and me too, as a musician, I play guitar, I play piano. I have a love for classical music. I do. I love and appreciate classical music. But do I listen to it? Not really, sadly enough. I mean, when given the choice of genres to listen to, classical music isn't even in the top 5. So why is it I kind of have this appreciation when it seems disproportionate to the amount I actually engage with the genre? Next, in the pro column, classical music can sometimes be seen as less accessible, both in terms of understanding its complexities and in terms of attending live performances, which are often seen as exclusive events with a certain etiquette, potentially alienating new audiences. Have you ever been to a classical music show, Natch?
No.
I have. Once. I had one particular girlfriend who tried to give me culture. Poor thing. It didn't last. But no, I did go and see some classical music right here in Madrid. It was an amazing show, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I definitely hope it's not the last. I've been to one classical music show. As a musician, I've been to maybe 1,000 rock shows. Who do you think draws more audiences, Natch? Mozart or Megadeth? Or Metallica?
Metallica.
Yeah, dude. Slipknot. You know? Do you think in 100 years people are going to be saying, wow, Corey Taylor, Slipknot. Ooh, let's put on some Slipknot over dinner, dear. Open a glass of wine. Let's listen to some Slipknot. Next, perception of elitism. The culture surrounding classical music can sometimes be perceived as elitist or pretentious, creating a barrier for people who might otherwise enjoy the genre. And finally, critics might argue that classical music overly reveres its past, focusing on composers and works from centuries ago, while they're neglecting more contemporary or innovative musical expressions. In the modern day, how do we engage with classical music? What is the new classical music? I mean, I would argue maybe film scores, where composers are creating pieces of music. Maybe film scores. You know? Interesting. Now for the cons. In the con column saying, whoa, Baldy, put the brakes on. Classical music is not overrated, que no es sobrevalorado. Vamos. Historical and cultural significance. Classical music has a rich history deeply intertwined with the cultural and artistic developments of Western society. Its influence on broader spectrum of music and the arts is profound and enduring. True story. There are still certain melodies you can hear repeated over and over again in modern popular music, in modern rock. You know, and I'm not even kidding there. In heavy metal, you can hear the roots of certain Baroque classical styles. And I'm a big fan of rock. You know, the virtuosity of a thrash metal guitarist can only be seen, really, anywhere else in classical music on the violin, piano. So I find this a fascinating topic. Complexity and depth. Classical compositions often exhibit a level of complexity and depth and emotion that is unparalleled. The skill in both composition and performance required to create these works is highly respected and admired. That, you know, the elves are saying that, Natch, because they haven't heard your reggaeton yet, and the virtuosity and melody within. Natch, no kidding. Can I? I really want you to do this. Can we do it and premiere it on the ProBoh show?
No. I'm joking. No, I can't do it, but I'm not going to do it. No.
I mean, no one will think less of you, Natch. We'd only admire you more. Anyway, let's continue. Educational value. Learning and listening to classical music has been linked to numerous benefits, including improved concentration, memory, and stress reduction. And finally, Many classical pieces have withstood the test of time, continuing to be celebrated, performed, and loved centuries after their creation. True story. Guys, you have done a good job in the chat. And I am going to read all your comments. Comments from Vero, Carmen, Symbol, The Bridge, all here in the chat, and we're going to get to those after the break. The second half of the show, the most interactive, and I'm looking forward to interacting with you. Twitch.tv/professional bohemian. Come and check us out live. Friends, so many things you could have been doing this morning, but instead of doing those things, you took the time to spend some time with me in the Natch, and it means the absolute world, guys. I will see you in a few short minutes. Hey guys, if you'd like to support the show, you can do so on Patreon. That's patreon.com/professional bohemian. There you'll find VODs of the episodes as they are recorded live, blogs, vlogs, and behind the scenes content. If you'd like to watch the show live, you can do so on twitch.tv/professional bohemian, and you can participate in the polls we use in the show on Instagram @professional bohemian or Twitter @ProBoh, PROBOH. Okay, on with the show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. How are you doing out there? You're listening to the ProBoh Show live at 9 a.m. unless you're one of our golden gods, one of these beautiful angels that download the podcast. How is it that every day there are more and more of you? I have no idea, guys. Thank you for downloading the podcast. Thank you for rating the podcast. Dude, 5 stars on Spotify, Natch. 5 stars. Go on. We're loving it. We're loving it. I think 5 of those are for you. 4.9 are for Natch. And then 1.1 of one of those stars is for me. There you go. Let's see how many... Wow, we got a lot of comments today. You guys are on fire. Actually, a lot of people, a ton of people voted for this unpopular opinion today on Instagram. If you want to join us on Instagram, be involved in those preliminary votes, you can do that on Instagram @professionalbohemian. That's Bohemio Profesional, pero en inglés. I'm just seeing here, Vero asking Rob, how many coffees have you drunk so far today? How many do you think, Natch? Knowing me, how many do you think?
2.
This is my second. Thank you for the faith. Thank you for the faith, because sometimes, or normally I would have had 2 before coming into work and then 1 at work. This is my second. Being a good boy. I'm going to try for this to be the last coffee of the day. I've been cutting down by 1 cup a day, guys. Just want to be I want to be living a little longer for you. All right, let's see. We got a ton of comments on the unpopular opinion, but if you're just tuning in now, what did you miss? We took a look at a new drug coming out that may help people overcome addiction. It was a piece of news by The Atlantic. Did scientists accidentally invent an anti-addiction drug? Yes, a drug that helps you stop taking other drugs. Jeez Louise. Then we looked at the paradox between Steve Jobs' original intention for modern technology and how it is today. Steve Jobs originally thought that devices like smartphones would end up being bicycles for the mind, but instead it's much more similar to, or it has a similar effect on our brains to junk food and smoking. The little dopamine machines. That was by Royce Branning, the co-founder of ClearSpace, something that Nacho is going to be using to overcome his crippling mobile phone addiction. And then we looked at Martin Scorsese's new movie about Jesus, only lasting 80 minutes long. And the movie is intended to take away negative associations with organized religion. Well, thank God it's Martin Scorsese making it and not Roman Polanski in that case. That's a deep cut movie humor. Sorry, guys. Let's move on to today's unpopular opinion, which was classical music is overrated. How do you feel about that? Well, let's take a look at the chat first of all, because we've got lots of messages on there. Let's see what people were saying. Those elves have been exploited, says Vero. Oh my God. Let's see. Vero, false. It has always been said that music tames the wild beast. Classical music helps concentration and even increases the capacity to absorb knowledge. Eugene, our friend from Russia, says, I spend maybe 10 or 12 hours a day on my phone because it's radio, TV, and internet for me. That's true. I mean, look, we complain about mobile phones, but they are very useful. Very useful. Natch, it's mainly Wordle. It's mainly Wordle and feet photos for his OnlyFans. I'm sorry, Natch. I don't mean that. I don't mean that. That's what it is, though. Just so you know. Carmen, who on earth answered true on Insta? A lot of people on Instagram. This was a very, very popular poll. So a lot of people actually answered true to this one, Carmen. She says, who on earth answered true to this on Instagram? Bad Bunny? Bad Bunny, I assume, is a modern music artist. I don't know. I don't engage with modern music, guys. I don't like it. I don't like it. There are a few people that I do follow, but yeah. MJ Symbol is here. Soundtracks equals classical music, says Symbol. Yeah, absolutely. Come on. Hans Zimmer, John Williams, anyone who says classical music, or the genre classical music, I don't mean classical as in created in the past. Anyone who engages with movie soundtracks, which is all of us really, are exposed to some kind of classical music, if not, directly using the same instrumentation and composition. Quite often they are inspired by classical pieces of music. Again, Hans Zimmer, John Williams. I mean, God, all these amazingly talented composers and musicians that make music for cinema. Let's continue anyway. The Bridge, Rob, you are being exceedingly naughty today. Poor Natch. He's not paying attention. He's on his mobile phone right now. He's on the Wordle of the day. Carmen says, of course. In fact, original soundtracks are often made following deliberately copying classical composers. True story. And she goes on to say, I think classical music is actually underrated. That could be quite true. Let's see, we also have Min here joining us from the Netherlands. Vero says, asked how many coffees? So only 2 today so far. Drug against drugs equals a brain hemorrhage against nail biting, says the Bridge. You don't even know who Bad Bunny is. You did it. Good for you, says Carmen. Yeah, I'm living the dream, man. I'm living the dream. I have no idea who Bad Bunny is. I don't even bother. I used to try and keep so up to date with modern music, so I didn't fall behind the times and become like my middle-aged relatives at that time, who had no idea about the music that I listened to. And, I'm thinking, no, I'm going to stay ahead. I'm going to be cool. I'm going to be a cool older person. No, sod that. It's not worth it. Have you heard modern music? I don't like it. All sounds like music. Natch, maybe you'll understand this. Like, it all sounds like music created by committees. It's the same problem I have with, like, modern Marvel movies, with modern cinema in general, actually. Unless there's an auteur-director, They all feel like committee-led projects. There is no artist vision behind them. And I hate it. Ugh. Let's put a rap verse in so this song can appeal to the urban music market. Oh, that's how I love to talk about art, folks. The sad thing for me is music is maybe the most easily accessible form of art that there is. Okay, all you have to do is turn on whatever device you've got in front of you and you can be absorbing music in the way it was intended. And look what they've done to it. They've turned it into a business. Ugh. So in the first part of the break, I actually, we were going to and fro on this. Let me give you some of the comments that I actually received on Instagram with regards to this poll. Elena actually says, I can't agree with that. She says, classical music isn't just background noise. It's rich, complex history of human emotion and intellect. Each piece tells a story. Yeah. You telling me, Elena, that Bad Bunny hasn't got a story to tell? I don't know, Natch, but I'm assuming it's about face tattoos. Bad Bunny's story. What is it with modern artists and face tattoos? I don't get it. Anyway, I don't. Or anyone under the age of 30 has just tuned out of the show. Josh here says, well, I think it depends on your perspective. For me, it's not about the genre being overrated, but rather about finding the right balance. I mean, there's value in classical music, but let's not ignore the innovations in other music genres. Earlier on, I said we talked about the disproportionate nature, right, of the value we attribute to classical music and the amount it's consumed. I said, well, how many people are going to a Metallica concert versus going to a classical music concert? And obviously, Metallica are killing it. Yeah, Metallica, that's the limits of modern music knowledge for me. Or Muse, or whoever. Or Bad Bunny, I don't know. Who's selling out more shows? But that's not the point, is it? I mean, look at art. How many people are consuming or creating? How many illustrators out there are drawing little pieces of manga art compared to who are, oil painting? So it's not the point how many people appreciate it. Is the point the amount of effort that goes into its creation? I don't know. It's an interesting subject for me. It's an interesting subject. MJ Symbol, let's open a bottle of wine and listen to some nice Slipknot while dining, darling. Yeah, that's going to be it. In 100 years' time, Natch, people are going to be sat around at a dinner party. Sweetheart, would you mind pressing play? We have some Cradle of Filth in the on Spotify. The new classical, friends. Okay, Maria says, calling classical music overrated oversimplifies its impact. Its foundational understanding to music theory has influenced countless generations. It's more about appreciating a role in the broader musical landscape. Great comment there, Maria. Can we get ProBoh approved for Maria?
ProBoh approved.
And Leo says, welcome back, Leo. He says, I get why some people might think it's overrated, especially if they're only exposed to classical in stuffy, formal settings. But mix it with modern beats or in a cool, unexpected way, and you'll see it's timeless. Also very true. Also very, very true. Yeah, okay, so let's get back to this. Is it overrated? We have results for the poll. Let's get into those right now. So I made this statement that classical music is overrated. You guys said 80% false. Yeah. Okay. So what are my thoughts on this? Yeah, it's clearly not overrated. It depends how you think about how we appreciate things, right? Does popularity, is popularity an indication of quality? I would say not. I mean, look at the most modern blockbusters, will tell you that, right? Yeah, no? Barbie, one of the highest rated movies of 2023. I believe it actually took more at the box office than Oppenheimer, right? Two very different movies in terms of the weight and artistry behind them. Not to say Barbie was bad, I thoroughly enjoyed it. But it was a movie, and Oppenheimer was a film, right? Popularity isn't an indication of quality, friends. An appreciation for classical music is not an appreciation of a musical genre. It's an appreciation of history. I mean, you don't have to be an elite asshole to appreciate a beautiful melody. I think classical music, I mean, I love art, and as you guys know, I regularly attend exhibitions. And again, it's another thing that suffers from the exact same problem as classical music. It's seen as an elitist activity. What art, in its purest form, needs to do is really rebrand itself. It's not an appreciation of a particular thing. It's more an appreciation of history, of accessing different parts of your brain, thinking critically. You know, I can't speak for Bad Bunny. I've never heard his music. But I'm pretty sure it doesn't take you on the emotional journey going to a classical concert did. Now, I joked before about going to this classical show. And I'll be honest, it was in many ways eye-opening for me. I've always had an appreciation for classical music. But wow, the emotional impact of all these people, all these professional musicians playing in unison, the uplifting nature of it, the emotional journey it took you on. It was something else. If you want a recommendation from me, believe me, I'm not an elitist. You're probably listening to the show. I'm sat here in a t-shirt and a hoodie wearing jeans and sneakers. I'm not sat here in a business suit. Engage with this kind of thing, guys. If don't let the more classical forms of art, I'm talking here about whether it be painting, if you're a digital artist. Like anyone that I've coached in art, I've always said, pick up a pencil first before you get into the digital art. You need to learn what art is when you have no undo button, where everything you do is permanent. That's not to say I don't appreciate digital art and I don't appreciate modern music. I do. But I appreciate classical music and I appreciate analog art in the same way as a spyglass through history. These disciplines that actually birthed more modern takes on all these genres. So is it overrated? Is it underrated? I'm not one to answer that. But I guess you guys are. 80% false. So there we go. Let's move on to today's 100 Humans. Do you think that was an appropriate... Do you think that the audience gave us an appropriate answer there?
Yes.
Yeah, me too. Why not? 80% true. All right, let's get into it, guys. It was a long walk to work today across snow-capped mountains and through river valleys. And on that walk, I encountered 100 humans. And I asked them all a question. Today's question was, name some popular music genres. Min says, I think the idea that's only for these type of people is what makes an art form underrated. You're excluding yourself from art by form of definition, which is always silly. Art speaks to you, or it doesn't. By not liking something because you're not exposed to it by society is silly. Exactly. I always loved art, but I didn't go to my first exhibition until I was in my 30s. Yeah. Sad, because I love it now. All right, so name a popular music genre. As always, we go to the Natch first. Natch, go on. Lift the lid on this. Name a popular music genre.
Rock.
Rock. Rock. Wow, I got Wow, we got a lot of people answering this on Instagram too. Rock says Natch. Vero and Min agree. They both say rock as well. Is rock there? Yes, it is. Well done. Second most popular answer. 16 of 100 humans also said rock. A big thank you to Andrea, Carmen, Susea, Eric, Pedro, Ravdos, MC Villa, more by Vero, Gemma Resino, Ismartin, Efe, Coco Lavanda, Ana Casan, Pilar, that's all folks, B. Lopez, Life.17, Emily, and more, who interacted with this on Instagram. Emily, who else? Emily, Gemma Resino, and more. Vero, MC Villa, Ravdos, Pedro also said rock, and Susea, my God, they also said rock. And it was there. Well done. All right. Let's go back to the chat. Rhythm and blues. Rhythm and blues, says Vero. Rhythm and blues. Rhythm and blues. Is it there? No, it's not. Great answer. Rhythm and blues. I see here in the chat, pop music. It is a genre. Pop music. Ravdos also said pop music. And more in the chat. My God. It's, PR, that's all. Pilar, that's all, folks. Also said pop on Instagram. Pop music. Is it there? Yes, it is. Well done. It's actually the number one answer. My God, you guys. You're killing it. You're killing it. Eugene, playing 3D chess here, says classical. Is classical music there? Of course it is. Well done, Eugene. 7th most popular answer. Min in the chat says hip-hop. Hip-hop. Is it there? Yes, it is. Well done, Min. It's actually the 3rd most popular answer, with 14 of 100 humans saying hip-hop. We also have drum and bass. Well, electronic music, says Min also. Coco also said pop. She says reggaeton. Whoa. Does reggaeton fall under electronic music, do you think, Natch? I think, no? He says no. Well, we do have electronic music here, and a few other people on Instagram said electronic music. Let's see. Yeah, okay. Electronic music. EDM, electronic dance music. Is it there? Yes, it is. Well done. We pay a bit of attention to all our friends on Instagram. We have a few people saying folk music. Carmen and Ravdos said folk. Sadly, not there. A genre, yeah, bwah, bwah, bwah. Genre of music I love, by the way. I love folk music, especially modern folk. Country says Min in the chat, and Ravdos. Country. I got a flatbed truck, spray on jeans. Not to perpetuate a stereotype. Life.g17 in Instagram also said country. Is country music there? Yes, it is. Well done. The final answer, only one person got on Instagram. No one in the live chat said it. Ravdos said jazz. Is jazz there? Yes, it is. Well done. 6th most popular answer, with 11 of 100 humans saying jazz. All right, friends, let's get to these answers. I asked 100 humans to name a music genre, or a genre of music that is popular. In position number 7, we had classical. Well done to Eugene in the chat. No one actually... I know. And Ravdos also in Instagram said classical. And thank you to all you guys who interacted with this post, by the way. In position number 6, 11 of 100 humans said jazz. Quite an intellectual crowd this morning, Natch, on the way to work. Classical music and jazz. In position number 5, electronic dance music, EDM, with 14 of 100 humans. In position number 4, we had... Oh, no, that was EDM. Country was number 5, my bad. In position number 3, we had hip-hop. 14 of 100 humans said that. In position number 2, we had rock. And finally, in position number 1, with 18 of 100 humans, pop music. I'm having a good time today, by the way, friends. Thank you. All right, let's move on to today's Complete the News.
Complete the News!
All right, my lovelies, you know how this works. I'm going to give you a real news headline, but I'm going to leave out some important information. Your job in the chat is to identify that missing information with the 3 options I give you. If you're one of the people watching but not interacting, this is your moment, because all you have to write is A, B, or C. Here we go. A Florida school district removes blank from libraries, citing a law championed by Ron DeSantis, the Florida governor. But what is it that is missing from these Florida school districts' libraries? Un distrito escolar de Florida retira blank de las bibliotecas. ¿Pero qué es? Is it A, the Bible? Is it B, dictionaries, diccionarios, or is it C, atlases and maps? Mapas, básicamente. An atlas is a book of maps. A, B, or C? A Florida school district removes blank from its libraries, but what is it? Is it A, the Bible, B, dictionaries, or C, atlases and maps? What do you think, Natch?
C.
You think C, atlases and maps? We don't want people knowing there are other countries. Okay, A, B, or C. The chat seems to be angling towards B right now. Although we have all three options represented in the chat. People seem to be leaning on B here. B, dictionaries. Which puts Natch and the chat at opposition today. So let's see who's right. Okay, Florida school district removes... The answer is B, dictionaries. Well done, chat. Well done. You may have lost at, is it Pornhub or YouTube yesterday? But you kicked ass at today's Complete the News. It was, in fact, dictionaries being removed from a Florida school district library. So several dictionaries, including the American Heritage Children's Dictionary and Webster's Dictionary for Students, have been removed from a school district's libraries. This action is in response to concerns that these dictionaries might violate a Florida law signed by Governor Ron DeSantis, which allows residents to demand the removal of books that describe sexual conduct. God damn it. A school district removing libraries, Natch. This is the darkest timeline. All right, my friends. Well, look, that's all we've got time for on today's edition of the ProBoh Show. Thank you for joining me live, all of those of you that did so. Thank you for listening, all those of you who are listening. Thank you for downloading, all those of you angelic beings who listen to the podcast. Thanks to you, Natch. I will see you tomorrow.